Welcome to Smash Writing. I'm Paul. This is Justin. And today we are reviewing another Alien film, The Faculty. Just going to read apart.
What year was this?
I believe it was 98.
98?
Yeah, 98. And we'll talk about the cast after we talk about the plot.
No, we'll talk.
Because talking about the cast and saying who stars in it, it's just going to be a forever list.
It was 98. Alright. So, the movie opens The Offspring, so you really put this in the 90s.
Richard Rodriguez in his style.
Robert.
Okay.
It opens up with the football team practicing drills. The coach is losing his mind.
It's the Terminator!
He's like, you're going to lose on Friday. Don't show up. You all suck. He flips over there. Then, while he's losing his mind, you see how the quarterback stand take his helmet off. And he's looking at his coach like, oh, he just wants to go, like, give him. And his friend stops him. He's like, no, come on, let's go. And the coach runs over and he flips over the bleachers with all the drinks on it, and he breaks the sprinkler.
Yeah.
But then you see a shadow come up on him, and it cuts the black. And you jump to the school meeting, a little school meeting going on where the principal is like, no money for you, no New York for you, no money for you, goodbye. And the coach is like, oh no. The one teacher's like, oh, I bet the coach is going to get everything he wants in the new football this. And she's like, yeah, because they're the only things in the school that make money, and the parents want it. The school board wants it. And
which is so true.
Yeah, like you
so
can have that
true.
conversation today.
You can have it right now.
Because it's like, you get that song hit, and it's like, oh, this is the 90s. And then you get that little teacher meeting. Oh, no, that's today.
Like, yeah, like if you can go to any high school, it can be crappy as hell. But if the football team's winning, they will have everything and anything at their disposal.
But, so everyone leaves, and the principal's about to pack up and leave, and she forgets her keys inside. And she goes back in there to get her keys, and the coach confronts her. But you can tell that the coach does something very off with the coach now.
Yes.
And he stabs her in the hand with a pencil, and she hits him with something, and she tries to run out, but the chains are already on the door, and you see Teacher Olsen on the other side of it, and she's trying to talk the principal through what's happening and get her out. And the principal just gets out, and she locks the door, and she insults the coach, and she turns around, and Olsen clocks her one with something or stabs her with something. And Yvonne Olsen and the coach are worked together in all of this. And we jump to the next day, and we start meeting our key players. Yeah, we hid them in the mass. I think we're first introduced to Casey. Then we see Stokely, Mary Beth, Stan again. We meet up with Casey again as he's being reamed balls first into the flagpole. Repeatedly.
This was like an extremely abusive school.
It was. Like you even like when you meet Zeke, you see him in school and you see this couple just beating the crap out of one another.
Or just like the girls that got in a car accident.
Oh yeah, there was a car accident. And
the one girl rolls up, like pulls her out through the door.
Window, and the door flings open.
It was over a parking spot.
Well, it wasn't over a parking spot. She hit her.
Well, yeah, but it was because they were in the
I
park.
would yank you out through the window too if you rear-ended me.
But go on, because like this is school for like only the fittest can survive. Like you gotta have one skill or another.
I was like, at one point, like you see Zeke doing a drug deal in the bathroom, and you kind of pan overhead into the stall, and you see Casey's got like a bloody nose, and he's stumbled over.
Broken balls.
The beating he just took. You feel kind of bad for him.
Right.
But there is one new girl, Mary Beth. She's new to the area. And she'll repeatedly come up throughout this movie. But you see the school day going on, and the coach is acting weird. He's very quiet. And you see Stan talking to his girlfriend Delilah at some point. And he's quitting the football team.
Yeah.
He wants to focus on his academics and he can get into college this way. And she is like,
he got abusive coach.
no, you're not quitting the football team. I am the head cheerleader. The hierarchy says I date you. So you can't quit the football team. He's like, oh, whatever, and he's going to he quits anyway. But you meet Stokely. She's the castaway who befriends Mary Beth first. Mary Beth befriends her. She kind of forces her way on
Yeah,
Stokely.
it's just kind of like I'm dubbing you my friend.
Like Stokely does everything imaginable to keep people away from her, including claiming to be lesbian.
Yeah.
But while that's going on, you see Casey eating his lunch alone at the bleachers, and he finds this little seed pod thing, and he takes it to the science teacher. That's where you see that Zeke is actually really intelligent.
Yeah. Dude can make his own meth.
We get to that point later.
Yeah.
But like this species like reacts to water and it grows into like this new organism in the little tank, and it bites the teacher. And the teacher's like, all right, we'll just send it. We'll figure out what to do with it, and we'll send it to university if we have to. But try to progress through this day a little bit more. Actually, I can't remember if it was a skip between the two. I don't think it was. You see that we see Stan in the showers, and he's like cuffed. He's not really attacked, but one of the older teachers come in, and the skin is like frothing off of her face.
Right.
And she's crying for help and saying that they're everywhere. And the teachers talk Stan and Casey into keeping this quiet by saying that she has cancer. And they thought she'd be able to make it through one more school year. But while that's going on, you see Coach Willis just standing out in the field being sprayed by the sprinklers.
Yeah.
But
Delilah.
say it,
Delilah.
she takes Casey for some reason. I don't understand why those two were hanging out, but
Because she not only
she wants the story.
Yeah, because they're both involved in the school newspaper.
Oh, they're both involved. He's the photographer and she's the editor.
The writer, yeah.
All right, but they break into the teachers.
The faculty lounge.
The faculty lounge. And they hide in the closet to try to avoid Willis and Olsen coming in. They're talking all cryptic about how they got most of the faculty already and the students will start tomorrow. But then the Nurse Harper comes in and she's been sick. And you see Willis hold her down and like spit this worm thing into her ear, which freaks out
Delilah. Now you're making me tongue twister in that name.
I can't say that name. Brewster. You see Brewster and Casey and they're freaking out in the closet and the old woman's body falls on top. She's dead and they spear Willis with this thing from the closet and they run out of there. And they alert the principal, who's alive and well now, to what just happened. But now Nurse Harper is back up and everything is good and they run out of the school. Casey goes tell his dad and gets the cops and they go back to the school with the cops and they're like, oh, everything's A-okay here. And you see the dad just taking all the Casey stuff. Like, this is all this crap's fault. You're too into the science fiction. But the next day, all of the kids are being called in for exams. And they're being changed. They're going in one way, coming out another.
Yep.
And that's when we get our six who really start to clump together. Mary Beth, Stan, Stokely, Casey, Dahlia. Brewster.
Hearing you butcher now got me butchering it so bad.
Brewster, they all kind of cling together.
Yeah.
And they just managed to make it away from the science teacher. They escape from the school. Meanwhile, while they're escaping from the school, it is like every single student is now alien. And they go to Zeke's house, who has his own little meth lab in the basement.
No, garage.
Garage. But they determined that his new drug thing he has been peddling. The aliens don't like that because it dries them out. They're very water based. If they don't get enough water, they'll overheat and die. So they do a drug test and you find out that
Delilah.
Brewster.
Yeah.
She's been taken over by one of them.
Yeah.
And they run out of there. They run back to school because Stokely's put forth the idea that if you take down the queen, everyone should go back to normal. So they assumed it was the principal, and Mary Beth uses their entire supply on the principal. And Stan goes out to check, and no, it didn't work. The aliens are still there. It was because the principal was not the ringleader of this. You find out that it was in fact Mary Beth who's the ringleader of all this. And it comes down to just Casey and Mary Beth, and he traps her in the rafters and stabs her in the eye just with the drugs as she spits up these little baby things on his face. And kills all the aliens, and you can see the next month later, the entire school hierarchy has kind of changed a bit.
Casey is like the
Casey
man.
is the man with Brewster. Zeke is with the teacher.
Yeah.
And on the football team. And Stokely and Stan are together. Happy times, and a new kid is being rammed into the flagpole.
Balls first.
That
Okay,
is
first.
the faculty in a butchered nutshell.
Okay, first off, the cast is stacked.
Holy crap, this cast is stacked.
Run down the names.
These are just some of them that we wrote down here. We got Jordana Brewster, we got Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett, Selma Hayek, Robert Patrick, Famke Janssen, Usher, Clea Duvall, Laura Harris, and Sean Hannessy.
And but just like the first, like the last three are kind of more of the weaker names.
Well, no, how dare you? Don't you dare. Clea Duvall is amazing in this movie. I will.
But then you look at the top tier of this, and my God,
Man, it
This-
sounds like Sean is a director. That's why you didn't find any acting credit for him. He's a director.
the crazy thing is it's like everybody wanted to sign up for this movie.
Yeah, it did. It really seemed like everyone was involved, wanted to be in this movie.
And every role was funny. You
Never-
know, not funny, but picture perfect for them.
Jon Stewart was in this movie. He was the scientist teacher who gets stabbed in the eye.
And then you had Josh Hartnett as Zeke, as the one who got held back, but yet you realize the dude is super smart.
He chose to be held back because the teacher pointed out to him, you could have just took the test over the summer. You didn't have to repeat another year.
Yeah, Burke.
Famke.
Famke. I loved her dual roles because she was this sweet, innocent.
Shy teacher, and then when the
Then
alien
she's
gets into her,
she's this mean, insulting,
domineering personality.
Yeah.
She switches personality types on a dime.
Coach Robert Patrick as Coach Willis,
Oh, he was so much fun. Him being that tough as nails coach, just you're all gonna die, you all suck. About 15 different profanities, and it's amazing to watch him freaking out as Coach Willis.
of the names, I don't know, maybe in '98 Usher wasn't really big.
Yeah, this might have been the taking off point for Usher.
Yeah. His role was not as big as you think as his name is, but nevertheless,
Well, I liked his confrontations with Stan whenever he becomes an alien, and Gab and Stan kind of start sparring between one another.
yeah,
There was never there should have been a bigger blowout between the two of them.
right, because they were they showed that they were real close friends,
Yeah.
and then this,
But I think Stan was really running he was walking a line in this movie where he was quitting the football team, and he did actually just quit the football team, but he wasn't telling any of his friends. He was keeping that to himself.
yeah. So now,
I loved his little speech about the D he got. He was so mad that they changed it to an A. He's like, I earned that D.
yeah, he really was.
You gave me an A. I earned the D.
And they don't know why, because obviously he's the star quarterback, but
They do a good job with that, showing you on paper the hierarchy. Stan, then the Brewster, Zeke, Stokely probably, and then Casey.
yeah,
But then you show there's much more to all of them. Stan doesn't want to just be the jock. He wants to
he wants more.
be challenged by things like academia and
Academics.
academia, whatever. Academia. Zeke is the drug dealer. But
Sounds like a new nut you just made.
Zeke is a hyper intelligent who's not trying because he doesn't want to leave what he knows.
yeah.
Stokely is wants to fit in, but she doesn't know how, so she just flees into this little corner of solitude.
Now, there are I have a problem with Mary Beth.
Did you know?
Did I know that she was the queen? No. But until she revealed herself. But I always had the suspicion, I always had that she was already an alien.
Yeah, she.
The new girl, like, it's crazy because like we're laughing and we're talking about how all these stereotypes are fitting in. The new girl seemed the perfect way of making her the alien.
Yeah.
So you knew right off the bat. Now, Robert Rodriguez, I don't watch much of his film, so I don't know if he was trying to go hard creative with keeping her a secret. But as soon as she popped up on the screen, I'm like, that's for sure an alien. So the surprise that she was the queen was so dim because like, oh, the new girl concept.
Yeah.
It would make sense how all suddenly everything is changing. Who are you going to look at to anyway? The new girl. Now I get the storyline you were trying to aim at the principal as maybe being the queen person here.
Well, they're going aiming that because we saw the principal being attacked.
Yeah.
So if anything, it could have been Coach Willis because we saw Coach be attacked. So you're trying to figure out who wasn't attacked.
Yeah. But like the new girl kind of just gave it more of a way. You probably took it off the queen aspect of it, but nevertheless, I did know she was an alien.
Yeah.
And you know, every time they did try to get her to snort the pin, there was a way out.
Yeah, because when it was her and
Delilah.
snorting it at the same time, and that was when Dahlia was exposed as being an alien, so the camera hard cut away from Mary Beth, so you don't actually see her take the test.
I just felt like if you were going to make Mary Beth the queen, and you wanted the attention off of her until the very end, I would have not made her a new student. I would have just made her somebody that just has this. You had all the stereotypes. You had all that, so you could have just kept her southern accent.
Well, you know what you could have done is like not made it day 1 for her, made it like day 5.
Where she's already in with the clique.
Yeah, not quite in with the clique, but she's trying she's been there for a week, and now she's just trying to strong on friendships.
Yeah, but when you put it as day 1, it was all kind of already looking honestly like, and honestly, if I would have like caught how the opening scene fully started, I think the twist would have still put her.
Now,
There would not be a twist.
here's the fun thing about this movie, right? This movie is very much inspired by Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They even talk about
Yeah,
body snatchers
like-
in this movie.
The kids are solving the way because they based it off of.
Now, we did remake versus original full Invasion of the Body Snatchers. We could have put this in there. I could have just with the faculty, and you would have believed me 100% that this was a remake of the Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Until I caught that they were breaking the fourth wall of talking
About it.
Other than that, yeah, I would have put it as like the 8th film in that whole thing.
Good film.
Whatever, it felt like 8. This was a fun ride.
There's a fun little. I don't know if it was ever confirmed by anyone in the making of this movie, but there was a fun little theory because in the movie Cabin in the Woods, you watched Cabin in the Woods, right? They were sacrificed. This group was sacrificing children to the ancient gods,
Okay.
and they do it every set year. And there's at one point in the movie where they were talking about the last time they had to do this, and the Americans failed on the chem department side. And if you go back X amount of years, the faculty came out that year, and it was a chem department's fault, and it was the drugs that were keeping them aware of who was alien and who wasn't.
Nice.
And you get the same motif of jock, popular girl, blah 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 blah. So the fun theory was that what the incident they keep talking about throughout Cabin in the Woods is the faculty.
Smart. It's fun. This movie was a fun poke at aliens.
It is a fun poke at the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And, hell, the cast. Good lord, this cast.
I was like, when I was watching this film, I was like, who the hell is not in this movie? Like, I really was. I'm like...
If you were orbiting the movie sphere in the 98 year, you were and not had anything else to do.
Well, not even like 90s. Like, look at some of these stars that are stars today. I mean, okay, you got Usher, Elijah Wood, Brewster. Hartnett kind of fell off a little bit.
Robert Patrick
coming off of Peacemaker. And of course what he did with the Terminator and everything. Like, you could go on with all these names. Like, you seriously could. Salma Hayek, she's a big time star. Like, now she's more of a social media darling, but from like the mid 90s to about, I want to say like 2015, she was a big name star. You have so many stars at different. Jon Stewart, like
Yeah.
you can't even get him out of the way. I mean, there's a couple other names, but it's whatever. But
Chloe Duvall.
yeah,
Stokely is number one. Stokely's taking this movie from an A+ movie to an S2 movie. That's my grade. S. This is God tier. I love this movie.
my grade is a B+,
This is a staple of my childhood from the 90s.
and that says a lot about Justin's childhood. I'm giving it a B+.
It's so much more fun than Paul's.
I'm giving it a B+. Like I said, I was disappointed because the whole Mary Beth kind of probably stopped it from being a high A. Because it felt
You
like
could
they
have given it a low A.
No, I was that disappointed because I'm like, you're going with one style and then you try to put a twist on it, and you fail. Had Mary Beth already been an established character and not new, I would have was like, man, I didn't see this twist coming, but I kind of already knew without watching it, and this was my first time watching it. But nevertheless, overall, still a good movie. Nothing shy about a B+. So that is my grade, and you gave it an S tier.
Damn right.
Man, this recording days, you're gave 2 S tiers.
Yeah, but look at the movies I gave S tiers too. I gave The Thing remake and The Faculty.
But until next time.
Bye bye.